Being an actor seems like a glamorous job, but it often means doing some pretty unpleasant things. Actors can go on crash diets, get covered in mud, or have to film awkward romance scenes. But there are some actors who flat out refuse to kiss other actors, and the reasons why might surprise you. Before we kiss and tell, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos from TheTalko. Let's get started. Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is a talented and highly respected actor who was once faced with an opportunity many people would jump at. He had the chance to film a love scene with gorgeous leading lady Julia Roberts, but he turned it down. To make things even more complicated, it had been Roberts who insisted he would be perfect for the role in The Pelican Brief. This was more than just a career move, it was really a political statement. According to Washington, black women are very rarely seen as objects of desire in movies, and that's something which needs to change. And he put his morals where his mouth is and refused to kiss the famous actress on camera. He claims black women have always been a dedicated part of his fan base, and he felt as though filming an interracial love scene would be doing them a disservice. Although he's been in many films, Washington is rarely called upon to kiss anyone, and he's okay with that. Regardless of race, he notes there is a massive amount of pressure on women in Hollywood, since studios are always looking for the next young actress. Because of this, he believes in standing up against that sort of casting when it comes to his films. Miles Teller and Shailene Woodley. A good romantic movie can take us on an epic journey in which we get emotionally invested, but backstage, all sorts of hilarious hijinks might be taking place without us knowing. This was definitely the case on the set of The Spectacular Now, a film based on the novel by Tim Sharp. The film stars Miles Teller and Shailene Woodley, who had an interesting dynamic on the set. In addition to preparing for their scenes by going to hair, makeup, and wardrobe, they would also take a jaunt to their pantry. According to Teller, Woodley was taking some Chinese herbal supplements which made her mouth taste incredibly foul. He told her these supplements made her mouth taste like dirt. But since she refused to stop or chew on a breath mint, Teller had no choice but to retaliate. After all, in a romantic movie, you can't quite completely omit all kissing. As for Woodley, it was no picnic for her either. Everything Teller put in his mouth disgusted her, from Gatorade to black licorice. By the time shooting wrapped up, it was almost a contest to see who could make their mouth taste more disgusting. Neil McDonough. Actor Neil McDonough is no stranger to playing the bad guy. He's been in some movies which many people will consider incredibly violent. Some of these movies include Captain America: The First Avenger, Band of Brothers, and Minority Report. But McDonough claims to have no issue at all with appearing in violent media, since he knows it's all created using special effects. However, when it comes to filming love scenes, he flat out refuses to partake. When you see two people kissing on camera, there's not any movie magic going on. It's just two actors kissing one another. Although most people consider it part of the job, McDonough isn't one of them. He claims his Christian faith requires he serve God first and foremost, and he isn't okay with kissing anyone besides his wife. McDonough is certainly entitled to his beliefs, but they come at a cost. Although he can be in as many violent movies as he wants, he can't be in any where his character would be involved in anything romantic. This even cost him his job on the set of the ABC series Scoundrels when he refused to film love scenes with his co-star Virginia Madsen. He lost out on about $1 million worth of work and was replaced by David James Elliott. Candace Cameron Bure. Most of us remember seeing actress Candace Cameron Bure when she was just a kid on the sitcom Full House. She played DJ Tanner, who was more than just a little bit boy crazy. However, the actress finds herself less and less enthusiastic about romantic parts as she gets older. Like Neil McDonough, she cites her strong Christian faith as the reason she prefers not to lock lips with anyone she isn't married to. On the new Full House series, Fuller House, her character was locked in a love triangle with two men. While audiences loved it, Candace Cameron Bure couldn't stand it and thought it was far too risque. She's also been in several Hallmark movies and despises having to act close to a new man in each movie, and her husband hates it even more than she does. She's married to former ice hockey player Valerie Bure, who hates seeing his wife act. Although he supports her career, he refuses to visit her on set because he doesn't want to see her interacting with other men. The only one of his wife's projects he's interested in are her appearances on The View. That's because when she's on the show, she's not pretending to be anyone but herself. Kevin Hart. For a long time, Kevin Hart seemed like the ideal husband to his stunningly gorgeous wife, Aniko Parrish. So when we first heard he had cheated on her while she was pregnant, it was hard to believe Hart denied the allegations at first, but was later forced to come clean. He called his indiscretion his dumbest moment and said it was a reality check for him. While he and his wife reconciled, this incident changed the public perception of Kevin Hart. With all of this in mind, it's even more shocking that there are people Kevin Hart refuses to kiss as part of his job. The actor has publicly stated he would never take on the role of a character who happens to be gay. He turned down Brandon T. Jackson's role in the movie Tropic Thunder once he saw the script. Although Hart claims to appreciate the gay community, he says he would never be able to portray a gay character because he would be too worried about what people might think. We're glad some of our favorite actors like How I Met Your Mother's Neil Patrick Harris don't have the same hang-ups when choosing a role. Kirk Cameron. There was a time when actor Kirk Cameron was best known for his role as Mike Seaver on the show Growing Pains. However, his work as an evangelical Christian and his Christian-based films are now what he's most often associated with. He married his Growing Pains co-star Chelsea Noble, and the two of them have 6 children together. Honoring your marriage vows can mean different things to different people, and Cameron has some pretty strict rules for himself. When he married his wife, he vowed to never kiss another woman, even for work. When he appeared in the drama Fireproof, this posed a challenge when he was supposed to kiss his on-screen love interest. He came up with a scheme which was admittedly clever, but also kind of crazy. He had the producers dress up his wife, Chelsea Noble, as his love interest. The scene was shot in silhouette, making it impossible to tell who Cameron was actually kissing. That sounds like a crazy scheme from a sitcom, but it's what works for this couple. According to Cameron, he believes marriage is something very special that most people take far too lightly. Janet Jackson. The 1993 romantic drama Poetic Justice starred 2 huge stars and featured poems written by famous poet Maya Angelou. The lead roles were played by Janet Jackson and the late Tupac Shakur, and at one point the two were forced to kiss. However, there was a significant amount of drama surrounding this behind the scenes. Tupac had a reputation for being a ladies' man, and Jackson was hesitant about filming an intimate scene. Before she would agree to lock lips, she wanted Tupac to undergo testing to be sure he didn't have AIDS. If you find this shocking, we don't blame you. But keep in mind this was over 2 decades ago, and there wasn't nearly as much information readily available about the AIDS virus. Now, of course, we know that even if Tupac was HIV positive, Jackson would have been safe kissing him unless they both had cuts inside their mouths. In addition to the lack of information, there was also a huge degree of social stigma surrounding the issue. At the time, Tupac was quite offended by Jackson's request and refused to have any testing done. The producers didn't seem to find this request reasonable, and Janet Jackson and Tupac Shakur were forced to film the script as written. Tisha Campbell. While working on the sitcom Martin, Tisha Campbell and Martin Lawrence started out filming tons of romantic scenes together. The two starred as couple Martin Payne and Gina Waters, and there was plenty of affection between them on the show. However, fans were shocked when suddenly Tisha Campbell refused to shoot any more scenes with Lawrence. This happened during the show's 5th season, but there had allegedly been problems on set since the very beginning. The public learned about the situation in 1997 when Campbell filed a lawsuit against Lawrence and accused him of harassing her. According to the lawsuit, Lawrence would repeatedly asked Campbell out on dates and did not react kindly when refused. She claimed he became increasingly manic and volatile on the set. At times, she became frightened when he would fly into seemingly uncontrollable fits of rage with no apparent provocation. Further, she asserted that he would try to kiss and grab her between takes, and that her fellow cast and crew members did nothing to stop it. Campbell quit and refused to film with him any longer. Many fans were shocked when a Martin reboot was recently announced, and Campbell seems to be on board. Only time will tell how this will play out. Lindsay Lohan. The Scary Movie franchise isn't known for being the classiest one around, and Scary Movie 5 was no exception. Lindsay Lohan signed on to appear in the raunchy comedy, but found that kissing one of her co-stars was just way too far. There were many scenes in which Lohan was supposed to get intimate with actor Charlie Sheen, but she flat out refused. In her defense, Sheen was known for his hard partying ways and incredibly erratic behavior. Right from the start, Lohan let the producers know she wasn't interested in filming anything romantic with her co-star. The script ended up having to be changed at the last minute to accommodate Lohan's demands. Some scenes were omitted entirely, while others were filmed using a body double to stand in for Lohan. Surprisingly, this didn't destroy the working relationship between Sheen and Lohan. While they were filming the movie, he didn't say anything about the script changes or body doubles. He just pretended everything was business as usual. She later reached out to apologize, and apparently there were no hard feelings. When she ended up having financial difficulties later on, Sheen even gave her a gift of $100,000. Fawad Khan. Actor Fawad Khan says he doesn't consider his looks to be one of his strengths, but we think a lot of his fans would disagree. Despite his good looks and talent, Khan comes from a conservative background and is often uncomfortable with body jokes and dialogue. This became an issue when he was shooting the movie Kapoor & Sons with actress Alia Bhatt. She was willing to do a cheat kiss with him to make it look as if they were kissing without anything inappropriate happening. But despite this, Khan still struggled to make the movie happen. According to Bhatt, whenever she would move her face towards his, Khan would flinch and move away. Bhatt had to constantly reassure him that she wasn't actually going to kiss him and that they were just playing pretend. After making this film, people wanted to know if Khan would ever shoot more intimate scenes in the future. Despite how shy he was with Alia Bhatt, he says he might be open to it in the future. He views life as unpredictable and says deep down he's a fan of romantic movies. While we're all for being spontaneous, it seems as if this actor has a long way to go before he's filming love scenes. What do you think about actors kissing each other in movies? Is it scandalous to do if you have a spouse, or is that a reasonable boundary? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section and then click on the subscribe button for more videos from TheTalko. We'll see you next time.